So today can go down in infamy as the day that the Quran was not burned by some idiot little fucking Christian down in some idiot little backwater part of Florida. Now that isn't saying much because Florida itself is pretty much a backwater and rather an embarrassment to the rest of America. But what gets me is the entire controversy. We live in this place called America.
Wow.
And in America we have freedom of speech and expression.
Daddy, what are you talking to?
Levi, I'm talking to the camera. Now what that means is that we are allowed to do things like put crap on a cross and call it art. Please notice that no president came out and said how horrible it is that somebody is crapping on a holy item. It didn't happen. Why didn't it happen? Because Catholics aren't likely to go around looting, rioting, or burning. Now that leads us to another part. Why do we assume that all Muslims are going to go around rioting and burning and murdering? It's stupid. That's bigotry. For all of you that say, well, this is going to cause Muslims everywhere. Really? You are able to speak for Muslims everywhere? You? Seriously? What you're saying is that Americans need to realize that not all Muslims are bad, but it's okay if all Muslims are stupid enough to think that all Americans support this jackass. That's what you're saying. I don't see how you can draw that parallel. Do I support book burning? Fuck no. I despise the concept of burning a book. If there's a good book to burn, it would be a religious text. There isn't a good book to burn, but if there were, it would be a religious text. Religion is inherently corrupt and wrong. It's bad. It teaches people to be the lowest common denominator. Not just to notice them, but to be them. And yeah, it doesn't offend me greatly that some idiot wants to go do that. You know what does offend me? Fred Phelps. Fred Phelps likes to hold up signs that says, God hates fags. That's offensive. But if you look at America, Fred Phelps is just another whack job doing some whack job thing. And the press treats him as such. The media treats him as such. What should have happened here is the media treating this idiot as such. He's a whack job. Treat him as a whack job. Don't give him national credibility. Don't put him on the damn news. Oh, but he's going to cause the death of servicemen everywhere. America causes the death of American servicemen everywhere. Our very existence is the reason our people are killed. That's why. It doesn't require burning a Quran. Especially since only a very, I mean, God, I think giving him 50 followers is being generous. This guy is miniature as far as religious movements go. He's a fucking moron. Nothing more. Don't try to abridge freedom of expression in order not to offend a group. Because that group that is offended, if they are offended by such a minor circumstance, don't deserve your defense. Just as with Draw Muhammad Day. Yeah, they aren't allowed to draw pictures of their prophet. We are. We can draw pictures of anything we want because we aren't a Muslim. We aren't offended by these things. And if it offends them, who cares? It doesn't matter. Eventually they will stop being offended, realizing that they don't own the world. And I'm not speaking directly of Muslims. I'm literally speaking of in the early 90s when somebody shat on a cross and then hung it up as art. And there was a minor outbreak of anger. Oh, they're being so intolerant of Catholics. Who cares? Catholics aren't the end-all of knowledge. Catholics aren't the end-all of morality. Catholics are not the end-all of what should be and is right. Neither are Muslims. No one is free from offense. And if you start to say, well, this could offend them, then where do you end? Flag burning offends patriots. Speaking as an atheist offends Christians. Being black in some neighborhoods offends the white people there. Where do you end it? When do you say, well, this person doesn't have the right to be offended, and that person does? That's the problem with laws that prohibit someone from being offended. You have to literally attribute to them a sanctity. You have to give them a protection. Why don't you give medical doctors that freedom? They have the right to have their practice without having people stomping up and down in front of their clinic with signs. That's offensive. But we don't try to protect the people doing a vital service to our community. We don't protect them from offense. But we do protect some nebulous concept of some fucked up imaginary extremism attached to some fucking religion. We do say that they shouldn't be offended. Why? Offend them. It doesn't matter. Don't be a racist. Don't hate someone for the accident of their birth. Don't be a bigot and attack someone for their faith, but challenge them. Challenging is okay. If you tell me that I'm going to have snakes biting portions of me off and it regrows so that they can bite it again, if you tell me that 2 hammers are going to slap the side of my head hard enough to break my head, but then my head regrows so that the hammers can slap again, then yeah, I'm going to challenge that. That is Islam. Those are 2 Islamic teachings. That's what happens to infidels. So, what is it that you are offended for? On whose behalf are you offended? You know, and like I said, I don't approve of book burning. And I'm not a supporter of this Burn the Qu'ran Day. Even though it's not happening, it's still, for some reason, an issue. Why? Why should I be any more concerned with that than I would be for pissing on communion wafers? And yes, if you give me a box of communion wafers, I will piss on them. That is how little they are worth. They are nothing. So, you know, a lot of you are going to be angry at this, and good, I'm glad. You know, talk back to me. You know, put it on the video. But don't be offended on behalf of someone that deserves no defense, that deserves no protection from offense. Because it's just a fucking book, man. If I want to burn Catcher in the Rye, I will. I won't. But if I wanted to, I would. Because it's just a book. I don't care if Christ is mentioned in it. If I want to burn the Bhagavad Gita, I will. Get used to it. It's called reality. I don't care about your superstition. I don't care about your prophets. I don't care about your gods. And if you do, if you think that your prophet and your God and your Christ and your this and your that are so pathetic and weak as to need your defense of them, then I think you're the one with the problem.